Hello and welcome back. Sorry, I need to start recording, don't I, you big idiot? Hello and welcome once again to the ProTipster Football Show. The Champions League action is over and we're back to take a look at the Premier League and the Championship. We'll also have some naughty European action for you as well. How naughty, you ask? Lola Ferrari in a bubble bath naughty. How's that? And ProTipster Dan, and we welcome along ProTipster Johnny as well, and we're going to help you find some value in the betting markets and astound you once again with more stats. Gentlemen, how's it going, everyone?
Very well.
Really tiring.
Johnny, welcome along.
Very well.
How's it going,
Looking
Johnny?
forward to action.
Very good, very good, very good. Look, before we get into the football action then, just a reminder, we live stream these podcasts on YouTube. So if you'd like to get in touch with us with any betting questions, feel free, hit us up on Twitter. You can get me ProTipster IRL, Martin is ProTipster EN, Dan is ProTipster Dan, and Johnny is ProTipster Johnny, I presume?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, good stuff. So then let's... we'll start off with you, Martin, because you're going along tomorrow night to watch the Hammers take on Leicester.
Yes, for my sins.
Yeah, for your sins. You were saying before we started recording that you're not really looking forward to it.
No, I'm not looking forward to it at all. It's a must-win, really, because our schedule in December is horrendous. And the fact we got bowled over so easily against Watford fills me with dread. We keep persevering with Andy Carroll. He's gone over 12 hours now without a goal. So something needs to change. I hope we're up for it tomorrow, because Vardy and Mahrez would tear us apart if we give them any sort of space tomorrow night. If taking the fact that I support West Ham out of the equation, if I was a neutral, I'd look at this and Leicester scream value to me. I really hope we give it a good game, but at the moment I just can't see it happening. We've conceded 25 goals in 12 games. We've got the worst offensive record in the league, and we haven't beaten Leicester for a while, I don't think so. Yeah,
Leicester. When I look up the odds there, West Ham are 2.75, the draw 3.32, and Leicester 2.64. So yeah, you're thinking value in Leicester there.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. We've got to win at some point, but yeah, I think Leicester are a good value for the win. They've won 5 and drawn 1 of their last 6 against us, and I just, if we play like we have done in the past, we'll leave gaps open, and Mahrez and Vardy exploit them. They're solid at the back as well. Like Harry Maguire, I'm very, very impressed with how he's settled into the team at Leicester, and Kasper Schmeichel's a top goalkeeper, so we need to be on our A game if we're going to be able to get anything out of the game. So fingers crossed for tomorrow night, but I'm not hopeful, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can see Leicester just going out and not trying really to do anything for the first 20 minutes, because then the West Ham crowd will use the most impatient crowd in Premier League football. So the crowd will probably turn quickly, and then Leicester it could end up being open season,
Yeah, exactly. If we can score first, we've got a chance. If we concede first, we'll fall apart and concede 3 or 4. Although the one saving grace is that Moyes has never lost a home game against Leicester ever.
Nice.
So
nice
it's quite
stat.
interesting stat. Yeah, nice stat. Hopefully he keeps that record. I'll take a point. Let's be honest. In this situation we're in right now, I'd take a point.
Daniel or Johnny, did you have a look at this match?
I didn't. I'm sworn off betting on West Ham at the moment because they've let me down so many times. But I'm just looking now, and you've got to think Leicester's going to do well here, because West Ham are without a winning 5, 3 defeats, 2 draws. Leicester City not lost in 4 away games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, 3 of them are draws, 1 defeat. I'll be tempted by the draw,
For me, like Martin said, there is value definitely on Leicester, and having seen West Ham playing recently, this game of West Ham will actually suit Leicester. So, but it will be. I would agree with Martin. It will be depending on the first goal. if Leicester score the first goal, I can't see West Ham taking anything out of this game. The defensive struggles that the West Ham have might be crucial against a team like Leicester, who can recently score goals. And looking at the lines and the Asian lines and the odds, I would, from my place, I would recommend the Leicester draw no bet or 0 Asian handicap.
Yeah, that was 1.89. I saw that as, yeah, so that's pretty good as well. Lads, just before we move on away from West Ham, what do you think? Is Moyes, is he going to do it, or is his management style, is it a bit too old? Because he's not like the old school, like say Roy Hodgson or Tony Pulis, who's gone. He's not of that school, but he's not of the school of the new managers of Klopp, Conte, and Mourinho, etc. He's kind of in between those two, and like, does his footballing identity, for want of a better phrase, like, does that still have a place in the Premier League?
I don't know, you've got to look at the people behind him as well. He's got Alan Irvine, Stuart Pearce helping him out, so they're very old school as well. I think we just need to drive into the players that they need to shape up, get fit, and just grind out victories. It's not going to be pretty under Moyes, let's be honest. And I'm just looking at our run now. Everton away after Leicester, and then we've got City away, Chelsea at home, Arsenal at home.
Oh God.
Stoke away. So yeah, it's not looking great. Unfortunately, it wouldn't surprise me if we're bottom at Christmas or there or thereabouts. He's going to find it very difficult to turn it around. But it's one of those things as well. Like, what happens at the end of the year? If we are losing all these games, is he going to be gone? Are we going to get rid of him? Don't know. Like, there's already talk that because he was only on a short-term deal, and see what happened at the end of the season. But if we don't win a game by the end of the year under him, then who knows? He might. I don't know. He might not be in a job.
Oh God, could you imagine? Like, he'd never return from that. Never.
No.
How could you? Anyone else acting on this, lads, or do you want to move on to the game of the weekend? That silence is deafening, so let's then move on to 5th place. Liverpool are taking on Chelsea, who are in 3rd. I found a stat here. Chelsea won the first half in 10 out of 18 away matches, and they scored first in 13 out of 15 away matches as well. Liverpool are obviously still going to be reeling from their capitulation in Seville. I had to use that word, sorry. Daniel will know why. Let's start with Daniel.
Yeah, Chelsea fans are annoyed because this game comes so rapidly after their long trip to Azerbaijan, to Karabakh, in Baku. And I think they're a bit miffed because obviously Liverpool have got a day longer back from Sevilla. Yes, Liverpool capitulated in Seville. There you go, got it in again, Paddy. And I think the downfall of Liverpool, we've been going on about it all season, and it's shown again. You look at their back line, it's just not good enough.
No.
They're missing Joel Matip, and they're playing Clavan and Lovren. I mean, I don't know if Lovren's still unfit, but I know he was really struggling. Clavan is just not good enough.
I heard Matip might be back this weekend, which would be good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they moved Joe Gomez inside and played Alexander Arnold at right back, because they can't stick with Clavan. They really can't. And it's classic Liverpool, isn't it? Against the Chelsea side, that they look like they were faltering under contact, but I think he's got it sorted. Rested a few players in Azerbaijan. Morata will come back, I'm sure. And now they've got Conte back as well. They're going to be very, very hard to stop. Very hard to stop.
What are you gone for?
I've not gone for anything yet. I was looking at the odds, and Chelsea are 3.33 to win. So That surprises me. Chelsea are like way outside. They're 1.75 plus 0.5 on the Asian handicap. So Chelsea not to lose, and I think that is where my money will be going.
That's a massive price for a massive line for Chelsea. I have to agree. This is what I was looking at as well. Chelsea not to lose, or even Chelsea for the brave people. Chelsea draw no bet or zero Asian handicap. It's exactly what Dan said, that Liverpool are just not good enough in the back up against a team like they have at the moment. Momentum they have. This is a massive game, obviously, and I don't expect too many goals. But if any goals will come, they will come from Chelsea. My prediction, even
Who's getting arrested?
That would be me. That would be me.
So yeah, to come back to our business, I would expect something like 0-1 or 0-2 for Chelsea to win the game. But it's going to be a good game.
Interesting. I've actually backed the Chelsea win at 3.33. It's actually my first pro tip on ProTipster as well at 8.1 out of 10.
Ooh.
Well done.
That was exciting seeing that turn blue. But yeah, for the same reasons that Dan and Johnny have mentioned already, to be honest. It was, yes, Chelsea are annoyed the fact they've only got about 72 hours in between their game in Baku and this one, but it was lucky for them that Karabag had a player sent off pretty early on, so they were able to rest the likes of Kante, Cahill, Hazard, Morata. Bakayoko didn't even get on. Hazard's in great form at the minute, and he'll be a big factor this weekend.
Is there though, just to kind of play devil's advocate, like Conte came out early and saying he's not happy about this playing so soon after the match in Azerbaijan. He also said something like, I'm going to start preparing for this match on the plane home. Yeah, like, right you were, man. You were going to go sleep like everyone else. But I thought there was a little bit of an element of, okay, we'll get in some excuses earlier. That's what I picked up on. Now I fully expect Chelsea to win, just like you lads do as well. You know a lot more about football than I do, but yeah, I would expect Chelsea to win. But it's just something I picked up on. I just thought Conte was getting his half excuses in there early, kind of something like what Mourinho would do as well.
No, I know what you mean, and I actually understand his point. Liverpool do have an extra day to recover, and I know obviously they've got a little bit of a trip themselves, but I don't know why this couldn't have been on a Sunday just to give the players a little bit more of a chance. But if Henderson passes like he did in midweek, 55% pass rate against Sevilla, if he does that against Chelsea, then they've got no chance.
Yeah. Any other points then from this, lads? So Martin, you've gone Chelsea. Dan, you've gone Chelsea. Johnny, what's your Chelsea as well, or draw no bet?
Yeah, I've gone for Chelsea draw no bet at 2.45 on ProTipster.
Okay, very good. So we'll move on then, and I wanted to talk with Spurs and West Brom. Now, normally, West Brom wouldn't be top of the list, but just them being managerless, Spurs are 4th, West Brom are down 17th. Daniel and I were talking earlier in a video that will come out tomorrow about West Brom. Daniel, you were making some great points, so could you give some of them to us again for the podcast listeners?
Yeah, West Brom are a team in real trouble, but with Pulis gone, the question is how things are going to change. They've got Megson as interim boss. Megson knows Albion; he was manager before. And Pulis had this thing where he bombed out players that he didn't like, Nasser Chadli being one of them, who's supposedly unfit. Now, it might be he's not fully fit, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back into the team. One thing that's happened since we recorded that podcast is Megson's had a Barney with one of the first team coaches, Ben Garner, and he's just got rid of him. Just told him to naff off. And it's like, what's going on in the training ground? Obviously Megson was there before, so he knows the guy. He's known him for months. Well, what's happened that's made him, go get lost? I've gone so heavy. Spurs to win by 2 or more at 1.79. And I honestly think Spurs, As long as they don't concede any set pieces, because that's why West Brom are strong. Dangerous places. I think Spurs should rip them apart.
Yeah,
West Brom.
Okay.
I was just going to say West Brom have got no confidence whatsoever.
Yeah, completely agree. I've gone for exactly the same. Minus 1.5, the Asian handicap at 1.79. Yeah, same reasons as you. West Brom are just woeful. They're worse than us currently. They've lost 4 on the spin. Still only one away win this year. I know Spurs are at Wembley and they're struggling to get going, but they just have too much. Kane and Dele Alli, are they fully fit? I don't know, but even if they're only 80% fit, they'll still have enough for West Brom, I think.
I agree with both of you on this one. I've gone exactly for the same, and Tottenham to win by 2 or more. I don't have to repeat. I mean, I agree with exactly what both of you guys said about this game. I can't see just West Brom taking anything from this game. Tottenham are the team to go for it. They need to bounce back after that defeat to Arsenal in the league. So
true.
I can't see Tottenham not winning this game, despite that they played at home. At home.
Yeah. That's on the Arsenal defeat. I know they beat Dortmund the other day as well, but Dortmund are in shocking form at the minute. So on the Arsenal defeat, will other managers take a look at that and look for how Arsenal did it and try and copy it? Because I don't know if you remember a couple of years ago, Stoke, I think, beat Liverpool, Brendan Rodgers' Liverpool, when they were playing really, really well. And Mark Hughes came out in the Match of the Day interview and says, well, now other people are going to copy what we did because that's how you stop Liverpool.
It's having the players to be able to do that, isn't it? It's one thing like having Arsenal's strike. Having Lacazette, Giroud, Lacazette, Sanchez, and Ozil. West Brom haven't got that.
Exactly. You may go for it. You may go for it, but if you don't have that quality, then
It comes down to that. You can try and play the same tactics, but you've got to have the right kind of. You've got to have the same kind of players. And I don't think that's going to be the case.
Even West Brom at home wouldn't stand a chance against Spurs, I don't think.
Not at the moment.
No, fair enough. And I suppose it looks like Alan Pardew is nailed on now for the job, isn't it?
It looks it. I wonder what if he does get taken on. I wonder what his contract's going to be like. I would have thought that it'd only be a short-term deal, personally, just to keep him up.
Probably. Just repeat. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Yes. Predicted it right the other day. Although he did get an 8-year contract at Newcastle, so who knows?
How many years of that did he actually work?
I don't know. I think he's still under contract technically with that. I think he's still got a few years left to run on it.
That's wonderful.
That was ridiculous.
I can actually. I was talking to a friend of mine who works high up in a football club in the Championship, and they told me that clubs just don't give managers 3-year contracts anymore because they're not worth the paper it's written on.
Yeah.
The only reason you would do that is to make sure you get the compensation if they go. But because there's much more of a hire and firing culture at the moment, most managers tend to be on short-term contracts or on 12 months rolling contracts. It's just the way it's done.
Yeah, that's what David Moyes said as well when he took over at us. He was quite happy to take the deal that he got offered because he just understands that that's part and parcel of what he's like these days.
Sorry, go ahead, Martin. Go ahead.
I just wondered whether Pardew would be the kind of person to keep him up anyway. I don't know if he is,
I don't think he is. I know Baggage fans are not happy about it. Mind you, they're not happy about many things, to be fair.
It's a pity, that they're not going to take a chance on beginners from Aberdeen, because I would have liked to have seen how he'd get on, because but Aberdeen he does some decent stuff. I think it would have been interesting to take it from.
Oh, I don't know. People thought that with Alex Neil, didn't they? And he came over and didn't do a lot.
That's true. But okay. Put it another way, I think he would have been a better shout than Michael O'Neill, the Northern Ireland manager.
Yeah.
But your time will tell. There's another thing I read today. kind of on Arsenal, we were just talking about PSG are keen on adding Sanchez, and to make room for them, they want to loan out Draxler to Liverpool. Now, as someone who follows Liverpool, I would love to see that. But on the other hand as well, I mean, Liverpool is basically a team of midfielders now. That's all it is.
Unfortunately, I don't think that he's the kind of player Liverpool need at the moment. They need to be looking somewhere else. I don't know. I still think Alexis Sanchez will end up at Man City one way or another.
I don't.
You know?
I don't think they. I don't think they need him. I don't think they need Alexis Sanchez. I think he'll end up going abroad. Because I don't think Arsenal will get any money for him either. I think he's just going to sit it out because after January the 1st, he'll talk to clubs abroad, move abroad for nothing on the Barcelona. So I think that's what will happen. I don't think he's what Man City need. And I mean, if he went to PSG, would he get in the team?
Good question.
I mean, not being funny, but would he actually get in the team there? Because Draxler, I know, isn't getting as many games as he would like.
At least he'd win a league title that he wants.
Yeah, this is true. But I think, don't you have to play games to get the medal?
Yeah, I think you do, yeah.
But Liverpool needs some centre back.
Yeah.
At minimum, a centre back.
And
a good one. Yeah, and a goalkeeper too.
Yeah, it's a mad one. But Draxler, I love Draxler. I'd love to see him in the Premier League. But I always thought someone like Arsenal would get him because he's that type of player,
Yeah.
Let's move on then, gentlemen, to a match on Sunday. 7th place Burnley, who are taking on Arsenal. I didn't find many stats from here. Arsenal have no, go for it. I didn't really find much, lads. Other than me, Daniel and I spoke about this as well in the video earlier. We were saying that Turf Moor is such a hard place for teams to go to, and it looks like it's going to be a decent match.
Well, I'll tell you straight away what I've gone for. I've gone for Arsenal -1 on the Asian handicap at 1.87. I get what you're saying about Burnley being a tough place to go, but Arsenal just a different kettle of fish to what they've come up against at home. And for me, this is Nick Pope in goal for Burnley. It's his first real test at home this season. If you look at who they've played at homes this season, they've played West Brom, Crystal Palace, Huddersfield, West Ham, Swansea, and Newcastle. So they've not really been properly tested, and this will be the first real test, and I think they'll fail. 1973, the last Burnley league win against Arsenal at Turf Moor, long time ago. It's crazy to see Burnley level on points with Arsenal, but I think Arsenal will have too much, and the fact that they're resting some players for tonight's game, they'll be fresh. I can see Arsenal winning quite comfortably, to be honest.
See, I went exactly the other way. I went Burnley +1.
Interesting.
Because I think Arsenal will win, but I think they'll only. I think if Arsenal win, it'll only be by a goal. I think Turf Moor is a very tough place to go. They've conceded 1 goal at home in 5 games. You look at the Arsenal last season. Yeah, they lost to Spurs, Man U, your boys.
Yep.
They lost to West Brom to start this season as well, didn't they? But they don't concede too many goals at home. Like, you take out the Spurs game, the Man U game, the West Brom game, and you lot, and most games it was 1 goal or 0 goals conceded. That's just the way it is. And they don't score many either, so I'll be looking at unders this one. And as I say, I just went for Burnley +1. I just thought it was worth a punt. I think 1.95 is a bit skinny. I think it could be a little bit higher, but speaking of, Arsenal are currently 0-0 in the Europa League, and their fans are not happy with the midfield. Because it's Coquelin and El Neni and this pair of cloggers, as far as they're concerned. They want to see their youngsters given a run, but hey ho.
They should do. They should give the youngsters a run out in this type of game, I think.
They have done through most of the tournament, and you look at the bench, and Iwobi, Akpom, Macy, Nelson, and Ketia, Sheaf, and Willock. That's all kids.
Yeah.
So I think as long as I think, to be honest, they'll probably will bring them on anyway. I can't see any reason why they wouldn't.
Fair enough. Johnny, had you wanting this?
I have to agree with Martin. I'm against Dan this time.
What a shock that is.
What a shock. Exactly what Martin said. Burnley, I don't think they were tested enough so far this season at home. So it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be one of the best games of the week in the Premiership. Recently, I have to say I like Arsenal for some reason. They've compared to what they played in the beginning of the season, especially if they rotate like they do today. They should be fresh for the game. It's going to be a tough trip for them, but the handicap is the line is quite tough to beat, -1. But I believe they have the quality to do it. Obviously, this can be a game which can turn both ways if let's say Burnley score in the beginning of the game or so. But then that's something to consider in play. But before the game, I would see Arsenal winning this one, and I would even say by more than 1 goal.
All right, so varying opinions there, especially we'll find out on Sunday. Then what we looked at. Is there anything else then from the Premier League before we move on to the Championship?
I have actually. I've gone for the draw in the Palace Stoke game. I can't pick them apart, to be honest, and I think there's a bit of value there at 3.33. Stoke's last 2 games have ended 2-2. Palace's last 2 home games have ended 2-2. So only West Ham have conceded more goals than these two sides this season. So a score draw, I think 1-1, 2-2.
I've gone Stoke not to lose in that game.
Interesting.
A 1.81, I thought it was good odds.
For this one, I would go for under 2.5 goals, just because they have so bad defensive record. They would focus on not and these are this kind of game for Crystal Palace and for Stoke as well to go for a win. So they will be not to make any mistakes. So I'm expecting a ugly draw.
All right, good stuff then. So that rounds up our Premier League previews. Next on to the Championship. Let's start off with 4th place Villa are taking on Ipswich in 9th. Let me give you some overalls here, lads. So Villa overall have 7 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses out of 10. Ipswich have 3 wins, 2 draws, and 5 losses. Villa are pretty short. They're 1.6. And the handicap is you can get them at -1 at 2.07. Do you think, lads, they're going to continue their good form?
I think Villa will probably end up winning this, but I haven't actually gone for anything because I personally think Villa are too short. I don't think they should be a 1.6 shot against the Ipswich side, who are half decent. It's just too short for me. I know Ipswich have only one away win in the last 7, and that was against Burton, so they're not travelling very well. But yeah, Villa are just too short for me to even consider backing it.
See, I've gone for goals in this one.
That's not a bad shout.
Over 2.5. Last 3 games involving that mud from across the expressway from me. Those whose name I dare not mention. Their last 3 games, there's been more than 2.5 goals. I'm just looking a little bit further back. Ipswich, who drew against Sheffield Wednesday, they've had more than 3 goals in their last 5, I think maybe 5 games. 2-1 win over Burton, 3-1 defeats Cardiff, 3-0 win over Preston, 2-all against Hull and Ipswich. So goals over 2.5. That's a respectable 1.85.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good.
Wolves and First then are taking on Bolton, who are 23rd. The odds on Wolves are very short as well, but they're lower than Villa. They're 1.35. To the handicap line is Wolves minus 1.25 at 1.81. Poor old Bolton, you can't get a break at all. They're awful. They've no wins in the last 10 away from home, 5 draws, 5 losses. Wolves are just in stellar form.
Yeah, I've gone for Wolves to hammer them. Wolves swim minus 1.5 on the Asian handicap at evens, dead to 2.00. I think Wolves will smash them. They looked so good the last game. They're too good for the Championship at the moment.
Yeah.
They got players that are too good for the Championship in Bolton. They're worse than us.
That's saying something.
That's damning, huh?
Yeah.
That's
damning, yeah.
I've gone for the
Although
same
they
as you.
did beat us.
Yeah, they did actually. Yeah, I've gone for the same as you. Evens is a good price, I think, for a side that are running right at the minute against a side that can't buy a win. So yeah, I think Bolton as well. They were 2-0 up against Reading. I thought they were going to beat Reading, but then they kind of blew it in the last 10 minutes or so. So I wonder how they're going to be thinking from that point of view. They've just got no confidence going forwards, and it's the worst team they can possibly face at the moment. Yeah, Wolves are going to run right.
We have a question in the live chat. Kevin Maynard wants to know if the form of the team is the best way to tell if any team can win on away matches.
This is what I was. Yeah, remember I was kind of asking you a similar thing a couple of podcasts ago. When I changed it now, thanks to you lads, what I had been doing was I was only looking at home form versus away form. Like say for example, Wolves' home form is 8 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Bolton's is 0 wins, 5 draws, 5 losses. And I will only kind of look at those things instead of looking at the overall form, And you put me straight on that. I think it's a trap that a lot of people fall into because when you go looking at stats on websites, it's usually done in that format. It's usually done in this is their home form versus these guys away form. So you just kind of think, oh yeah, I'll just follow that because you're a mug, basically.
Yeah, you got to look at the overall picture. Team news as well plays a big part. That's huge. Even historically, the meetings between the sides. I mean, an away side can be in great form going to a certain ground, but it could just be a bogey ground for whatever reason. You look at the historic stats between the two sides, and one of the away teams might not have won there for like 20 years. It's certainly something to consider. It might just be, I don't know what it is, why they hadn't won for so long, but you've definitely got to factor that in.
Danny, you understand it? Johnny?
Yeah, well, obviously, when considering home form, away form is important, but you have to consider the whole picture, like of the team. So generally the form, but also like Martin said, the team news. I wouldn't agree too much on the historical data, although I can see your point. But obviously, team can travel to a ground not having beaten the home side for 20 years, but then the teams it might be completely different, and the situation of the teams is completely different. So, yeah, it can say something, but I wouldn't give it too much importance, in my opinion. But then again, we get to a point where there are traditionally some teams that are good away from home, or like we had Tottenham struggling at home in the beginning of the season. At home at Wembley. So. You can consider it as something when you decide for your bets, but it's not something that should only be taken into account.
Okay. Good stuff. Daniel, do you want on that, or do you want to move on?
Move on.
The last championship match then I wanted to take a look at. Third place Sheffield United, who had a rip-roaring loss to Fulham the other night, and ruined my gravy train bet. They are hosting your boys, Daniel, Birmingham, who are in 21st position. Sheffield United have won 7 out of 9 home matches. Birmingham have lost 9 out of 11 away matches. What the hell is that noise? Is
I don't
someone
know.
using that? Counting on an abacus or something. The last time we won was 12 months ago. Daniel, we'll start with you then. You're the Birmingham expert.
2 stats for you.
Go on.
Okay, woohoo.
So the first one, in 9 away games that Birmingham City have played this season, they've scored 3 goals. They've conceded 19.
Wow.
And they've conceded 6 in the first 15 minutes of games.
Oh, wow.
But the good news is we are top of one table.
Oh, what is it?
The Home Office football arrest table was released today, and Birmingham City are top with 72.
Brilliant.
So we're good at something. Boxing, apparently.
Great stuff.
Yes, stick your mortgage on us losing. I hate saying this, I really do, but there's something really toxic within the team. Steve Coswell's had 7-8 games, and the fact there's already fans wanting him out. People aren't happy with the players, aren't happy with the board. Got injuries through the wazoo. David Davis, who, to be fair, I wouldn't even pick. He picked for knocking the game last night. And I'll tell you what happens is we'll play well and then we'll concede and heads drop and that's it, we're done. And it's just how long until we concede. That's it. We never look like scoring. We're just clueless up front, and we've got a manager who insists on playing a 6'4" striker on the left wing and a young, pacey forward type up front instead. What are you doing? It hurts me to do this, but I've gone for Sheffield United to win by 2 or more, 2.65. I honestly think they could do us 3-0, 4-0. The way we played first half against Middlesbrough, we could get crucified.
Daniel, what would you think of going for under? Because the line, as I can see, is 2.75. Because I mean, the only chance for Birmingham, I'm not a championship expert, but the only chance for Birmingham is to kind of improve in defense.
I mean, you got Liam Clark, who scores 7 goals in 2 games. It's not going to be easy to keep him quiet.
The way I see it, if you're going to go for unders, you've got to hope Sheffield United score less than 3.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because we ain't scoring. You might be better off going for both teams to score no, because we are not scoring. Mind you saying that, I said Celtic wouldn't score against PSG 1 minute into the game.
Yeah.
So come on. Which evidently annoyed Paris because they stuck 7 back past. I really every time like the team comes out, you just look at it, you just like where are the goals going to come from? We've got a midfield that can't pass. We've got we've got a bright young Chelsea midfielder who's skillful on the ball, who's played a Premier League game this season, and he can't even get on the pitch because apparently he doesn't run. He's not a clogger, and it's just draining the life out of me. So Sheffield United to win by 2 or more, 2.65, and I hope I'm wrong. I
don't think you will be. I've gone Sheffield.
They're scoring for fun, and the Fulham match the other night was insane. Like my phone was just flash score kept sending in alerts every couple of minutes, and I was going, I wish I could have found the stream for it instead of watching what I was watching.
Crazy. Fulham left back scored a hat-trick.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it? And you tweeted out the bet, didn't you? What was the odds? Oh
God, I can't remember.
Someone had put like a 5 or a 10 on this.
I think he put it on a brace. I think he only put it on a brace rather than a hat trick. I think it was like 150 to 1 or something.
I've got mates who do that. With Birmingham City players last season. We're putting a 5 on Johnston Grounds to score twice. Because their reasoning was it will happen one day, and when it happens, they want to be the one with the winning bet.
My father-in-law used to put a tenner on John Jensen to score for Arsenal first every week. He lost so much money, but it did come in one week. So
it's nuts, absolutely nuts. before we leave, then I probably shouldn't say lower leagues, but there's a great story, Daniel, that you shared with us today in our group. Let me read the headline. Plymouth Argyle, a fourth goalkeeper is hurt in ridiculous injury crisis. And there was a beautiful sentence in this article. I thought it was it was just wonderful. Emergency loanee Remy Martins. Emergency loanee Remy Matthews is the only fit senior keeper, and he played on Tuesday despite badly bruised knees. Now, gentlemen, I have a question. Why? What's a man like? You only get badly bruised knees from one profession, and it's usually ones done by women who have a special.
You're thinking of carpet burn.
Yeah. Why does Remy Matthews have carpet burn?
Incidentally, Portsmouth are 1.61 to beat them at the weekend.
Oh, that could be worth jumping on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, to lose 4 keepers is insane.
Can you imagine if he gets injured at the weekend? And who are they going to have to stick a player in goal?
Yeah, an outfield player. And they can't sign anyone else on loan until he's like properly cropped. But well, yeah, it sucks. I do feel for them because that's just insane.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of that before. Four injured goalkeepers.
Yeah, I'm going to back Portsmouth. Put it that way. I think that's worth a punt.
But you want to get on it early though, because as more punters find out about this, the price is going to drop probably by a good bit.
True. Remy Matthews will have a game of his life now and keep a clean sheet.
With his dodgy knees. Yeah. Sorry, mate, I just have a filthy mind, lads. I'm sorry, but you know that about me already. Let's get on to some European football. We have Dortmund in the derby. They're taking on Schalke. Dortmund 5th, Schalke 2nd. Dortmund, the only interesting stat I could find was Borussia Dortmund have won the first half 11 out of 14 matches. And, you know, obviously from the form they're in, those 3 most recent matches were the ones they haven't won in for sure, because they are dog doo-doo lately. They're just terrible. Did anyone see anything in this match at all?
Draw. I actually think draw's got a bit of value at 4.08. That's too big for me. You know, Dortmund are in disarray. It's a derby game. I know Dortmund will be up for it, but you know, last 3 games between the two sides have been a draw. Schalke are 2nd in the league. They're no pushovers. So yeah, I think Dortmund obviously be going for it. Schalke will be going for it, and I think there'll be goals, but I can't see either side winning it. So I just think 4.08 is a bit of value.
Schalke have not won a raw derby in Dortmund in the league since 2012.
Yeah, no, but Dortmund have only won 4 of the last 18 home games versus Schalke.
Yeah.
So
draw sounds useful.
I think there's some value on Schalke, even though Schalke, exactly. I mean, the current form is. I don't know, guys. Did you see the game Dortmund played against Spurs?
Saw the goals. I didn't actually see
the highlights. Yeah.
In the Champions League.
Yeah.
I mean, you could clearly see that it's not the Dortmund from the previous years. The players are not confident. The coach is searching for the ideal formation, for the ideal starting 11. Obviously, because what can you do if you lose game after game? You need to find some. You need to change something to give the players some additional confidence or to motivate them. But it's just you could just see it on the players that it's not they're not even the best players in the team supposed to be the leaders. Let's say Bartra in the defense or Aubameyang are not or Goethe. They're not really performing to their best capabilities. Okay, Yarmolenko, it's a player I really liked against Spurs as well. He was really good, but still, as they played as a team, you could see that something is wrong and something needs changing. So, and if you look at Schalke's current form and how they played in the last weeks, and obviously it's a derby, so we have a saying that in derbies there's no favorite, but Dortmund will have a massive support of their fans of the yellow wall at the BVB Stadium, but what I like is Schalke 0.75. The odds should be around 1.9 or something like that.
Yeah, 1.9 is what I saw earlier. Yeah, for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a handicap that I fancy for Schalke. If they lose by one, half stake lost, but I can realistically see this as a draw, like Martin said.
It's on my bucket list, this game. I'd love to go to it.
A scoring draw, I have to say.
Yeah.
Just to add. Well, definitely. That must be one of the best derbies in the world, I would say.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh yeah, it'd be a great match to go because it always reminded me of a kind of like a championship kind of derby. You know, it's real blood and thunder kind of stuff. You know, big meaty tackles. It's not like Dortmund and Bayern, which is a bit more. You know, I don't know, a bit more poncy is the wrong word, but you know, there's a lot more skill involved and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, Dortmund and Schalke, they just hate each other. You know,
Yeah.
it's like some of the derbies you see here in Poland, like people who are from, you know, 10, 15 minutes away from each other, and they just hate each other with all their lives. You know, and this is the biggest match of the year for them. Okay, Schalke have a decent shout this year. But it's only until Bayern, you know, put a string of results back together again, which they've already started doing. So, you're going to Germany this weekend, Martin.
I am, yeah. I'm primarily taking the wife, being a good husband, to the Christmas markets. But there's also a lovely little game on, Hamburg versus Hoffenheim, which I'm going to go to.
Yeah, and Julian Nagelsmann, the young manager there, he's hotly tipped to take over at Bayern, but very much got it wrong when they were playing Liverpool to qualify for the Champions League. He's an interesting lad, isn't he?
He's only 30.
Yeah.
He's very interesting. I think he's been there a little while as well. I think he's only about 20, 28 or so when they appointed him as first team coach. I don't know. I personally don't know too much about him. I don't know whether he is going to be the next best thing or not, but yeah, he's doing quite well. With Hoffenheim.
It's funny because he's made Hoffenheim kind of likable because everyone in Germany hates Hoffenheim. They despise them because they're you know, there's just this fella established a football team, made a stadium in basically a village, and people go and watch it. It's kind of like this Red Bull Leipzig thing. Everyone sees them as this corporate, horrible football team, although Red Bull Leipzig take that crown from Hoffenheim now. But Nagelsmann, he's kind of made everyone like them a little bit, you know, which is great football. But I wonder, will he be tempted to go to Bayern? Because you're fine. Because what age is he now? He's like 700 or something.
Yeah,
That lasts very long.
No, he'll only stay there this season, I think.
Yeah, but I think as well he's going to be the taker. What do you call it in English? Take care coach or takeover? Caretaker. That's it. Yeah. Until the rest of the season, and then they would. Nagelsmann might come.
I don't know. 30 years old. Is he too young to take a job like that? Or does age matter?
Does it matter about the age? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it would matter if he lost four matches in a row. You know, there's a big difference between managing stars like, you know, Lewandowski and especially someone as difficult as like Frank Ribery. Could you imagine like being Frank Ribery and this 30-year-old kid
tell you what to do.
Tells you what to do. And I'm Frank Ribery. Like, who the hell are you? You know, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got to that stage where he's earned that sort of respect yet.
Yeah, but like that's I think that's what's part of Bayern's problem. They have these superstars with massive egos. I think that they need to be taken down a notch or two. One more European match, lads. I want to talk about. Second place Valencia are taking on Barcelona. Well, first, Valencia are unbeaten at home this season.
Yeah. And
Barcelona have won 9 out of 11 away matches, and they've won by 2 or more goals in 7 out of 11 away matches. This one looks like it's going to be very good. Like, they're taking it so seriously, Barcelona, that they rested Messi against Juventus for this.
Well, it's a huge game. Look at Valencia; they're absolutely flying this season, aren't they? So, I don't surprise them. It doesn't surprise me that Messi got rested, knowing that Barca were pretty much guaranteed to progress already anyway. And Yeah, it's away as well. Valencia is just a fortress. And Mestalla is. I don't know what's happened. Like Zaza has just turned into the old Ronaldo or something. I just don't get it. 9 goals in 11 games when he couldn't get a shot on target for us when he came to us.
That speaks about something, Martin. Not sure if it's about him.
But I mean, 9 wins in a row, 8 in La Liga, club record. I think Valencia have got a chance. You know, I've not actually picked anything in the match result. What I've actually gone for in this game, I've gone for Valencia to score first at 2.13. Valencia scored first in all but one of their games this season and scored first in 3 of the last 4 meetings with Barcelona. So I thought, yeah, a bit of value there. So that's what I'm going for.
Well, major concerns for Barcelona will be defense. I mean, we have Piqué banned, Mascherano injured, so they're going to probably play Umtiti and Vermeulen maybe.
Yeah.
In the back. So but then they have Messi and Jordi Alba fresh. They've been rested in the match against Juventus. By the way, that was a very bad match yesterday. Juventus against Barcelona.
Do you see Paulinho's dive?
Yeah,
that's funny.
So Valencia are for me are big surprise of the season so far in La Liga. There were no signs of them being so high up in the standings in the end of last season, and it's definitely a game if they manage to get a result from this game, they can prove that they can really challenge Barcelona. But looking at the odds and looking at the value, I see a nice odds for Barcelona to win the game. So I would have gone for this one, Barcelona to win.
Interesting. What odds are they to win, actually? Just out of curiosity. I
saw 1.88 earlier on.
8 something or 8, 9, yeah, 1.8 or 1.9.
It'll be tough.
Would you take them on the handicap, Johnny? You're kind of going into the handicap. So take Barca minus half a goal, 1.8. Oh, it's the same. That's a stupid question. Forget I said that, listeners. Daniel, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I've taken Valencia in the handicap. Valencia plus half goal. Because something okay, they're flying at the moment. I know Barcelona haven't lost since August, but it's really going to be a hard game for them. They're away, and I think it might be a draw. Valencia could even sneak it, but 1.98, I just thought it was worth a shot, so I've gone for it.
Well, it can make the match interesting anyway. Look, there's a topic I'd like to talk to you about. Me and Daniel, we were talking about this a little bit earlier as well, and the RTE panel, that's Irish television. They're great for Champions League because they're not like Sky Sports. They can actually give out about stuff if they want, and no one really minds. Actually, Irish people really like it because we love to listen to people moaning. But they were talking about Barcelona's aging team. So you have Messi. He can't have that much longer left. He still hasn't signed his contract for some reason. Suarez is 31, something like that. Iniesta is a man dead on his feet. Practically he still plays out of his skin, but he's got to quit. Or like if he was a horse, you'd take him out and put him down. He'd run himself in the ground so much. And then you have Piqué. He can't have much longer left. And like the young talent that's in the team now is Ter Stegen, Rakitic, who might leave when Coutinho comes. And who else? Umtiti is Umtiti. I love saying that name. And there's not a lot kind of coming through. And with the likes of PSG with all their money, Man City with all their money, Man United with all their money, are Barca going to be able to attract the younger people anymore, or are they all want to go and wanting to play in the Premier League or PSG and the likes of that? How do you see Barcelona replacing these stars in the coming years?
I mean, I don't really know too much of who they've got in the Barcelona B team coming through as youngsters, but I can only imagine that they've got at least half a dozen potential world beaters coming through. That some of them will make the grade, but it's Barcelona. You know, some people are there's going to be youngsters that want to go there if they're after them. I don't care who you are. Like if Barcelona come in for you, you're going to take it seriously, and I think it's still the place to go to learn your trade and get better. I think. I know.
But saying that, Martin, like this year, like okay, a couple of summers ago, if they had wanted Coutinho and like Dembele from Dortmund, they'd have gotten them straight away. This season, they didn't. Like Liverpool were just like, no way, give us a ton of money or you're not getting them. Dortmund didn't have the resolve of Liverpool, but you know, like they could have Dortmund could have said no. They were well within their rights just to say, nah, it's fine, good luck.
I know what you mean. That's crazy money for Dembele. Dortmund only signed him for like about 13 mil or something. But yeah, you couldn't turn that down. I mean, Liverpool. I still personally think that Coutinho might go there in January, but I don't know the ins and outs. We all read stuff in the paper, don't we? Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But did Liverpool really turn it down a few times? How serious were Barcelona at coming in at that stage? I don't know. But I think if they seriously want to go after Coutinho again, I think they'll get him. I think Coutinho would be silly not to go there.
I think he will eventually, sooner or later. But to answer your question, well, Barcelona, like Martin said, they are Barcelona. They are still very interesting team for young players to go to. They have famous academy, La Masia. They've got a couple of skillful players in the B team, in the second team. I think what they should look into is start to get these young guys more involved in the first team. And that's what they're looking for, because these young kids or players can learn a lot from these big guns like Messi, Suarez, Busquets, whatever, Iniesta. Obviously, these players won't be there forever, but they can pass on the experience to the young players. And if you can integrate the young players slowly into the team, they can learn a lot from them, and then you can have a transformation of the generations, let's say, smoothly. Of course, you have to bring some players, some quality players, like you mentioned Coutinho. But I think they know what they are doing, and they've got the quality in the youth teams that they can build on.
Maybe that's as well. Maybe that's a good thing, that the fact that some people are going for stupid money now, that teams have to look for the youth players to come through. I think that's probably a good thing, rather than you can only afford to buy one player at like 160 million.
Yeah, no, that's true. No, hopefully it's a good point. I hadn't thought about that. Hopefully, because we were saying it the other night as well. That it'd be great if there was more kind of youth players, and even if they had to be put into teams. Right, lads. Look, I think we'll leave it there. We're almost up on the hour mark, so let's do our social media stuff. Martin, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at ProTipsterEN. Personal handle is ProTipsterM on Twitter, and you can also find me on Facebook at ProTipsterMartin. 3 separate words.
Very good. Daniel, where are you?
ProTipster Dan, all one word on Twitter. Facebook.com/ProTipsterDan as well, all one word. That'll find me as well. Maybe on Tinder. I don't know.
Let's look for that immediately. No.
ProTipster Dan on Tinder.
As soon as you go buy a pint on Saturday night, Dan, I'm taking your phone and going through your Tinder. We're going to have great fun. ProTipster Johnny, where are you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, ProTipster Johnny. You can find me on Facebook, ProTipster Johnny as well. That's where I am.
Magic, good stuff. And you can follow me, ProTipster IRL, or have a search for the ProTipster Football Show. Thanks for listening, everyone. You can subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, and other Android podcast apps. Check out ProTipster.com for some amazing football tips, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily videos, previews, strategy videos, and podcasts. We'll be back on Monday with more Premier League and European football betting previews. So for me and the lads, good luck. Enjoy the football. Talk to you soon.